Hello, everyone. I'm a mother, a grandmother, and an advocate. But most importantly, I am a survivor from many systems. And I could tell you the struggle is real. ACS became involved in my life because of anonymous reporting. I still remember the first knock on the door by CPS investigators with the police demanding me to let them in my home. I was confused and scared to have a bunch of cops in my home, terrifying me and my children. They came in with their badges and guns on their waistline, not telling me what was going on and what my rights were was traumatizing. CPS wanted to speak to my children, which at the time they were very young. They wanted to strip search and check them for marks and bruises as if they were criminals. I taught my children to never let anyone touch or expose their bodies. But now CPS is in my home, demanding me to see my children and to talk to them alone. The possibility of having my children removed from my care was devastating. So you can imagine the confusion on my children's faces. I was separate from my ex-husband for some time now, and we did have some issues, but we no longer were together. That didn't stop CPS for continuing the investigation on false accusation of neglect. I became angry and I told them that my children are afraid to speak to strangers, and having a bunch of cops in my home doesn't make the situation any better. I will come in the room with them and I will lift up their shirt myself. I have two daughters and a son. They agreed. They checked my refrigerator, took a tour around my home, but couldn't find nothing to suggest neglect or abuse. Their only strategy was to force me to leave my home on the basis of DV. And if I refused, they would remove my children from me. That was the hardest thing for me to do. Nevertheless, they insisted that I must leave with my children and be placed in a DV shelter, and I had to give up everything: job, childcare, school, just because of what they believe is best for me and my children. When you don't know what are your rights, the system will eat you alive. I share my story because women like us must have a voice to speak up for what is right. We must educate ourselves about how this system works and have a seat at the table to change the injustice of system that terrorize families and communities of color. Even though the child welfare system still has the power to remove children from their parents in a blink of an eye, it's just as similar as the criminal justice system has the same power to remove your loved ones and place them into jail or prison with traumatizing displays of historical trauma which disproportionately targets black and indigenous families in poor communities. I have learned the parallels between both systems the hard way, and they both work as modern slavery. These systems are rooted in white supremacy, racism, but together we can make a difference by advocating for systematic change and making known that we do matter. We are all in this together, and we must continue to fight for humanity, equality, and justice. I'm happy to say Ladies of Hope Ministry was life changing for me. It has helped me to build up my self esteem and confidence while viewing the world through our eyes. I know, and we all know, this is not a one size fits all system. Ladies of Hope Ministry has been a blessing and has helped me to understand the root causes of our people's trauma, pain, and struggles. I believe a holistic approach is a better way to gain stability while supporting our children to become the best version of themselves. It is crucial to our long term legacy. I also believe it's important to know your rights. This work has empowered me to stand up for what I believe as a person of color, to find the power inside of me to fight for what is right. We must create other alternatives that connects grassroots community organizations with the power and resources for political actions in order to transform or abolish system of oppression and racial biases that judges our lifestyle and uses surveillancing and policing as a technique to control communities of color. We know our communities are still suffering from the pandemic, economical disparity, and lack of resources. It's not enough to just survive. We must all thrive. That is the best way towards moving forward to independence and gaining real power without system involvement. Today, my children are grown, and I have two grandkids, which I love dearly. They mean the world to me. There's a verse in the Bible that says our people suffer because of lack of knowledge. And with that being said, we should not allow for any system to trample over our basic human rights and self-worth. We matter. Our voices matter and our family matter. My name is Nancy Fortunato. Thank you again.